So, how's it going, everyone? How's it going, my future Motios? Has to be good only. Yes, sir. It's good, right? So, I'm Yash Chandak, faculty for CA Final Audit, and in this video, we are not going to discuss about audit, but about practical subjects. Four best tricks and tips to tackle how you should tackle the practical subjects FR, SFM, be it cost or be it practical sums of cost, DT, IDT, whatever it be. But you got to follow these four small tips. Definitely an exemption for you, exemption proof strategy, and exemption is on its way. Yes. So many students ping me, sir, I'm not able to get why I got so less marks in SFM. The thing is they are asking like there must be some or the other mistakes done by ICI. I'm pretty sure yes there must be, but at the same time we also got to be sure that whether is there any mistake from our side. Is there any conceptual clarity required more, or is there uh, are we doing some or the other silly mistakes? So we need to evaluate where is the lacunae. So first of all you got to tally with the suggested answer. Of course you'll call the papers and then tally with the suggested answers, and then evaluate whether the answers given by ICI, are you able to follow that, are you able to follow the concept why they did this. If yes, then definitely that's a silly mistake on your part, might be a silly mistake on your part. And secondly, if at all you're not able to follow the ICI suggested answer itself, it might be again there might be a lack of conceptual clarity, so you might require to brush up your concepts, right? So first thing, you need to be clear with the concepts logically. You need to be clear how, why, if at all we are doing any adjustment, why we are doing that. That is the first thing. This is the tip one. Tip two, you need to practice now. Once you are clear with the concepts, once you are clear, yes, I am pretty sure with my concepts, then definitely you need to practice a lot. A lot means divide your questions into two parts. One question will be around 4 to 6 mark questions, small questions that you won't be practicing by writing it, so you can definitely practice it with your calculator directly. But the other half, the big questions like 1440 mark question, so at least 50% question you should solve by writing it with everything that you follow in your exam directly. How you solve in your exam, definitely you should solve like that only, at least 50% of the big questions, with the timers of giving at least 1.8 minute per mark. Like that you should solve, and then you can of course reduce the number of questions in the later revision. That is the second biggest tip for you to follow. Third tip, just following that, once you gave 1.8 minutes, let's say you were following a 10 mark question, you gave 18 minutes, you solved it in 16-17 minutes. Now just after that, give 10 minutes to evaluate what you solved. Did you tally with the suggested answer, are you telling with the ICI answer? And then while matching the ICI answer, you got to do, jot down any new concept you got to know about in the question. You got to jot down the mistakes or any new concept that you got to know about in the question itself, either just beside the question, or you can follow a separate copy as well. So jot down all the mistakes also you committed in the questions, and all the new concept also you committed, all new concept you got to know about in the question, any new adjustment, any new thing, any new concept in the RTP new question generally comes. So you got to note down all this so that the later revisions the time will reduce definitely. That is for sure. And once you have jotted down these mistakes, like even if you do a mistake of 2 plus 2 equals to 5, not equals to 4, this is the silliest of the mistakes, right? 2 plus 2 equals to, you committed it as 5, you got to jot it down as well. See, I'll show a mistake. This is my some like kind of my chart book chart summary. So what I did was, I just jotted down two mistakes which I committed while I solved first time I solved my CFS question. I committed two mistakes. I just jotted down mistakes I made in retained earning evaluate calculation. So what in this question 32-33 में I have written that मैंने क्या किया है, what the question was like this. Question was like um, 31st March 2018 and 2019. Figure were there of retained earning as well as other reserves. Other reserve, both figures were there, right? No, sorry, only this figure was there, 31st March 2019, not this figure. And in the adjustment, the figure was given for retained earning, but there was no figure given for other reserve in the adjustment part. So what I did was I assumed it to be zero, but I should have assumed it to be this figure only, that is 2019 and 2018 there is no change, but I assumed it to be 0 in 2018 and in 2019. Well, we calculate post acquisition changes, right? Post acquisition PAC calculation in working note number 1 CFS calculation, you must be aware of. Then I directly took the change as 0 minus 2019 figure, right? So there I committed a mistake. I just wrote it down here. If you could and follow क्वेश्चन 32 3 में मैंने बैलेंस शीट में 31 मार्च की अदर इक्विटी के अंदर अदर रिजर्व का बैलेंस देगा एंड रिटेन अर्निंग का भी बैलेंस देगा पोस्ट एक्विजिशन चेंजेस निकालते टाइम डेट ऑफ एक्विजिशन कॉलम में रिटेन अर्निंग जो दिया एडजस्टमेंट में तो डाल दे एंड अदर रिजर्व के लिए एडजस्टमेंट में कुछ नहीं दिया तो जो बैलेंस शीट में दिया वो ही डाल दे जो बैलेंस शीट में दिया वो ही डाल दे ये मैंने लिख लिया डेट इज सेम गलती मैं कर रहा था क्या कि मैं अदर रिजर्व के लिए कुछ नहीं दिया तो मैं जीरो ले ले रहा था that is what I committed a mistake and I just jot it down the next time I didn't commit any time more this same mistake second mistake I did was normally in working note for consolidated profit and loss calculation mein I started with profit and loss that is retained earning of parent company I start with subsidiary company. I mean, I started with subsidiary company, but I should have started with parent company. Retained earning of parent company से start करते ना अपन working note two. So I started with subsidiary company. That is the second mistake which I committed the first time I was solving the question. I just jotted down these two mistakes. I don't remember I ever committed this same mistakes again. Of course, there can be other mistakes which I might have committed. There will be another mistake which you will commit, but definitely not the mistake that you will jot down. These are the silly mistakes that you might again also commit in the exam. That is why it is really important for you to first of all practice at least 50%, and just after following the practicing question, the timer, everything, you should follow that. You should jot it down any new concept plus the mistakes that you committed. Thirdly, summarize all the topics in a chapter in your own language. You got to summarize it. This is a snapshot you will say of my preparation when I was preparing for FR. This entire index 116 leases I covered it in just this one chart, this entire 116 index. And you can see this same question if you can see figure to figure 30 lakh minus 27 lakh, if you can follow that. I'm pretty sure it is blur, but figure to figure same question came in my attempt and I was able to follow the same because of my summarizing. I summarized each and every concept, each and every question as well. I summarized it in question, find this, then calculate this, everything I summarized it, so that once you dig in like this now, if you dig in like this, there won't be any more time for you to require in further revisions. So definitely the further revisions time will reduce. So this was my fourth step. And lastly, fifth, try to sum up the entire subject in 2 to 3 days just before the revision. Like let's say you are giving for FR, you gave 15 days, then you got to try to complete it in 13 days, and give 2 days for again summing up the subject. That will boost your confidence that yes, whatever I studied till now for last 13 days, yes, I pretty much know about that. So you got to sum up the entire subject in next 2 to 3 days before jumping into another subject. These are the pretty much the fifth technique will like apply to all the subjects, not just practical subject, but the first four really will help you down. Definitely the second and third you should follow, and just follow it. I am pretty sure exemption is no way not coming to you. So these are the four best possible tips and tricks for you to tackle the practical subject, for you to get an exemption in FR, SFM, DT, IDT, or SCMP. Follow for more such tips and tricks. Really important for you to follow, not just listen, right? So I hope I was clear. I was able to convince you to follow these tricks because I want you to follow this. I know, I'm pretty much sure that if you follow this, definitely an exemption more than that, you'll score definitely more than 70 80, right? So take care, bye bye, and do follow the channel, subscribe the channel, follow Telegram channel, and till then, bye bye.